Don't retire on Social Security alone. I know most of you are sitting back going, hey, no kidding. But a couple of my subscribers or viewers have asked me to make it a point, to keep driving the point that retiring on Social Security only is, in a couple of their opinions, foolish. And let me just illustrate why. And I'm starting to feel it too. So a lot of you know that I do every month, at the end of the month, we're going on 14 months now, I think, right? I do a breakdown of Social Security, what I got coming in, me and my wife, and what expenses we have against that income. Because our goal, and still our goal, is to live on our Social Security alone. Now, some people may take that as, hey, if Mr. and Mrs. Buzz can do it, we can do it. That's not the way you need to be looking at it. Because, and I've said in every video, I do have savings. I don't have the $1 million or even the $500,000 or even, should I keep going down? I don't have that. So my goal is at 65 years old, which I am now, is, to go about 5 years either doing part-time work or this YouTube. Now, last year, and I've done a video about this, so it's no secret, I made $18,000 doing a YouTube, which was absolutely fantastic. And that helped a lot to ease my fears in that first year of retirement, right? Well, this year, YouTube income is drastically down, and my bills are going drastically up. So I'm either going to have to look for a part-time job or do something different with YouTube. I don't know yet. We'll see. But the point here is, especially if you're in your 40s and 50s and you're watching this, yeah, nobody relies on Social Security alone. But the problem is, and some people get into a situation, a divorce, or they're single, and they're only going to get one check versus, me and Mrs. Buzz getting 2 checks, obviously, right? So you already know that you're not going to make it on Social Security. And any type of income that you can't get more from. So if you have income that's static, that you're only going to get an X amount, and maybe at the end, like Social Security, you're going to get maybe 2, 3, 4% for the next few years, I would think. It's not going to cover all your bills. Now, here's why. So food, obviously food's gone up, but you know what? You can control that. You have the ability to control what you're consuming, right? So, okay, so you can't buy the most expensive this or the most expensive that, and you have to go get this and you have to get that. You have to watch for sales. This week I'm not going to get eggs, Can I live a week or 2 without eggs? Absolutely. But and I just did a video on this, when your electric bill is supposed to be going up $10 to $15 a month and you have no control over it. When your natural gas, they're saying next year is supposed to go up higher, supposedly, you don't have control of that. Yeah, you can certainly set your thermostat back to 55, sure, and you can wear 5 sweaters and 5 pairs of socks and live like that. And if you feel like, you're comfortable doing that, great. But for me, especially Mrs. Buzz, that's not going to happen. Electricity, we've changed. We got LED lights everywhere. We turn off things. We don't leave a room with the light on. We've done everything we can. We bought energy saving appliances, everything we can. So there's no more room. I can't adjust any more than I already have. So that's a cost I can't control that much anymore. My property taxes, I can't control that. The good thing is, for 2025, I'll get the homestead exemption, in Ohio, we get an exemption of $25,000 off the retail value of your home and property. So I'll be filing for that, and that's great. But we just had an increase. And that Homestead Exemption Act will get me back down to where I was last year. So I'm saved a little bit right there, but my car insurance, as well as yours, I'm sure, has gone up. I don't have control over that. I don't even drive but 3,000 miles a year. I go to my insurance company and I say, hey, Mr. Insurance Guy, give me a break. I was driving a whole bunch of miles, and now I'm driving like 4,000 miles a year. Give me a break. Nope, can't do it. It's not the way it works. But you can put this little gizmo in your car, and it'll track you everywhere you go, track you when you go eat. No, it just tracks you for these, stops and starts and all this stuff. Yeah, you could save between 10 and 30% is what I'm told. But am I ready for some more eyes on me? Not that I care. I mean, nobody cares what Buzz does, right? Do I really want to go through that? No, probably not. But I might. I actually might, just to save the money. So I have no control over the car insurance. I haven't had an accident in forever, but my insurance keeps going up, right? So, and there's other costs that you can't control, and that's the problem. If there was things I could control, I would do it, and have done it. But it's those costs that you can't control that are gonna get you. So not only do you have to have, your Social Security, which is great, and if you have a pension, if you have a company that's still offered a pension, that's super. I know our company stopped way back when I was working for MTD, they stopped doing pensions and switched to 401k when that started to become the big thing. The company I went to after that, well, they changed names. Same company, changed names. They 401k only. There was no pension. So I didn't have the ability to get the pension, where a lot of you who have worked in companies at 30, 40 years, you still have the ability to get that pension, which is great. So Social Security, pension, you got to have savings. And again, you hear this from retired people all the time, and the finance people and all this. No, you don't need $1 million, but you got to have some money. You got to have some money because these costs are getting outrageous. And I don't know where they're going to end. Look at your cable and even your subscriptions if you don't have cable. And I know a lot of you have told me you just have the old antennas up and you're picking up a bunch of stations. That's great. But when are they going to start charging you for that? You've got, your cable rates going up. Cell phone rates have luckily, because there's so much competition, have stayed pretty decent and actually have come down a little bit. Internet rates, you can shop and you can find some better rates. So that's not too bad. And again, those are luxuries. You don't have to have them, but they're a heck of a convenience to have that, right? So there are just certain costs, the price of an automobile. Mine's 2018. I did a video and I kind of projected $25,000. And, for a decent used car, nothing special, nothing fancy, that's 25 grand. So, you're looking at, through your life, just basic numbers from 65 to 85, because let's say 65 is retirement age, and let's say 85 is DOA age, okay? You're going to spend $100,000 easily. Now, of course, there's some of you that are going to spend a lot less, and some of you are going to spend a lot more because you have more, and you're cool with that. And I'm cool with that. I mean, if you've got it, do it, right? You only live once, the way I look at it. But the rest of us in between, right? The rest of us in between, you're going to have 150,000 just to make you so that you can sleep at night. So you don't have to worry about these costs. And that's minimum. That's minimum. That's with replacing a couple of appliances, getting that roof done. And, I thought 10,000 was good for a roof. In the video I did recently, a lot of people were saying 15 to 25,000 for their roof. So That's a big chunk of change. Now, hopefully you only have to do that once in your life. But you know, your refrigerators, your washers, your dryers, dishwashers, and some of your other appliances, you figure in that 20 years, you might get away with doing it once, but chances are you're going to do it twice. Your water heater, your furnace, your HVAC system, hopefully you can get by once with one replacement, but that's an average of 11 grand, 10 to 11. Depending on if you're getting gas, electric, heat pumps, etc. So there's a lot of costs there, and those costs, those prices are not going to remain the same waiting for you to go buy this thing, right? Like I got a quote for the water heater, $1,800. Well, I guarantee next year, if I don't get it done, next year that quote's going to be $1,900 or $2,000. Why? Wages are going to go up a little bit for my plumber. The cost of the materials are going to go up. It just, everything goes up, right? So you've got to, and in some cases you only have Social Security, and I understand that. But if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s watching this, put money away. Yeah, I know your house cost or your rent is killing you right now. And I know you've got costs right now as a young person that is making it tough to save. But trust me, that short-term pain now is going to be long-term gain, as they say, right? And it's, you know, in 10, 15, 20 years, it's going to pay off. I tell my daughter, you know, try to invest as much as you can. Yeah, if you got to sacrifice a little bit now, you're going to feel a lot better when you can't go to work and you can't make extra money, you know, that you have it. And you don't have to worry about it. So don't retire on Social Security alone. I don't advocate for it. When you see my videos on Social Security at the end of the month, I have savings. Not a lot, but I have savings. But again, I'm concerned. I'm concerned with the rising prices of the things I can't control. So we'll keep this topic alive, and thank you to the viewers and subscribers who have asked me to talk about this, because I think it is important, and we need to keep doing this maybe on a monthly or every 3 months, quarterly basis, to just see where costs are and see how we're reacting and see how we're handling it. And maybe look at some best practices of how you're doing things. But again, don't tell me to turn my furnace down to 55, because Mrs. Buzz will give me the stink eye like you won't believe. Buzz's Retirement Garage. We'll talk to you again.